The beating heart of this whole entity is this space that we're creating right now, where you, Main Street, get involved right at the heart of our entire entity. But if this space, this social activist media platform existed alone, then nothing much would change. It would be a repeat of Occupy Wall Street or something. That was lots of noise, but not much actual change happened. In other words, talk alone is not enough. You need also to provide a credible, meaningful, sophisticated tools and expertise to those people that you want to make the change, to enable and support them to do so. And critically, by the way, to incentivize them to want to do so. Otherwise, they're going to continue doing what they're already doing with what they've already got. And nothing changes, and we've all just wasted our time. So this Business Roundtable for Main Street actually has and needs two parts, both being utterly essential. The second part is, in essence, the toolkit, the expertise, the vehicle that allows words and intentions to be turned into concrete actions and tangible outcomes. And it's already built and in place, ready to go. I've spent the last few years building this without being paid a dime, by the way, and without any financial support whatsoever, and putting everything I own into this. It's a social enterprise called the Ethical Capitalism Group, and it's the only collective engagement platform in the country for institutional investors and asset owners. It doesn't yet make any money because it's not yet launched, but all the infrastructure is there, ready in place and ready to go. And when it does, we'll run it on an at-cost, in other words, non-profit basis. As a social enterprise, by the way, it's an entity that puts its social mission first and foremost, not profit generation. And our social mission, as you know, is to fix economic inequality, which also includes generating better returns on Main Street's money for Main Street savers and pension fund beneficiaries across the country. So our social mission comes first and foremost, and we have zero legal obligation to focus on profit generation. Obviously, the stronger our financials are, the more stable and secure our ability to carry out our social mission is. So of course, tight financial housekeeping is a must. But that's the priority, our social mission. What's in place is essentially an infrastructure of experts and a community of the largest asset owners in the country, including, for example, state pension funds, who are ready to implement change but have previously lacked the ability to do so, as nothing like this platform exists nor has existed before. And so we hold events for these asset owners, bringing together some of the most impressive names in the US on all sorts of issues. We've also built a top-notch advisory board of people who really care about this issue and have really stuck their necks out to try to see meaningful change happen. Our infrastructure has some of the best experts and implementers in the country with fabulous credentials in areas like investing in workers as the primary productive capabilities and drivers of a company's innovation and productivity growth, long-term growth, and the ability to compete successfully. So we move away from a model of cutting costs by cutting workers' jobs, conditions, etc., pay, benefits. And instead, we recognize workers as essential business assets that need to be looked after, nourished, invested in to ensure that company's ability to produce robust long-term growth driven by sustainable growth drivers such as innovation and productivity growth. In a nutshell, it's moving away from a model of corporate anorexia, or the great cost-cutting gig as I call it, to a model of investing in nourishing a company and its assets for the long term. We want to build companies that are strong athletes, that are healthy, with great long-term growth prospects. And all that comes down to investing in productive capabilities, which means workers. Ultimately, if you don't invest in your workers, you have nothing as a company. You can't differentiate and you can't successfully compete. And the numbers show it. In other words, you're now starting to see the hardcore business case for fixing economic inequality, for including Main Street, American workers, in the economic gains and the profits that you've worked so hard to create. In other words, we've created a compelling investment alternative to Wall Street's default investment model of corporate anorexia and the great cost-cutting gig that is focused on a perpetual round of cost-cutting by cutting workers' jobs, pay and conditions, etc. In other words, now we have something very tangible to get Wall Street's institutional investors on our side because we're helping them with what they care about. Strong economic growth, strong profit generation, strong investment returns, and strong investment track records. Now we've made it easy for them, and we've made them want to join in because it's good for them too.